This is TechVibe Radio, your front row seat to Pittsburgh's technology and innovation ecosystem. TechVibe is brought to you by Compunetics at Compunetics.com, Chorus Call at ChorusCall.com, Highmark at Highmark.com, Huntington Bank at Huntington.com, Kindling at TheKindlingAgency.com, PNC Bank at PNC.com, and Savier at Savier.com. Here are your hosts, Audrey Russo and Jonathan Kirsting of the Pittsburgh Technology Council, coming at you from the Huntington Bank studios. Good morning, everybody. I am so happy to have you joining me here for TechVibe Radio. This is your front row seat to Pittsburgh's technology and innovation ecosystem. And I'm just so excited to be here today because I tell you what, I love this time of year. It's like summer's winding down. I love fall. And it's been a crazy summer. We've had so much fun on TechVibe. We've had some amazing guests just talking about every subject in the world. And today I'm really excited because we actually have a guest who we had on almost about a year ago, I think it's what it's been. So it's time for his yearly checkup. We had so much fun last year when we had Steve Blossom from ACA Group hanging out with us. And this is like an amazing company that you probably drive up the parkway a million times and don't even realize there's this great big company doing some really cool work. And of course, they're using all things AI in this day and age. And we're getting an update because last year alone, they were winners of one of our Tech 50 categories, as well as our CIO of the Year categories. You guys are coming out strong, Steve. So I'm so glad to have you back here. It's always great to see a friendly face.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
and certainly it was good to get recognized for all the hard work the team's been doing.
I was so tickled when you guys won because I know the work that you guys do. It's really cool. I can't wait to dive into this with our members. We'll do that in a second. But I know I've been to all of our Tech 50s, right? I mean, this is going on almost 30 years now. And to me, it's just the most exciting night of the year because we really love honoring these companies because there's so much hard work going on. Like I said, people are driving past your headquarters, here in Pittsburgh, not knowing that there's like 200 people inside. They're doing really cool stuff. And this is our opportunity to let people know that there's 200 people doing cool stuff and what that cool stuff is.
That's right.
So what is that cool stuff that you guys are doing there at ACA?
Yeah, so it's more of the same, which is just improving our services for our clients.
Okay.
And we're doing a lot with AI.
Yeah.
A lot's changed in a year.
I imagine so. I think about how much, actually think about that with AI, how much has changed in the past year. And it's pretty much mind-numbing at this point. Before we jump into, give us like the elevator pitch of what you guys do. Remind me, because there's so much you do. And what you do, I think is just so unique because you serve this industry where you're like, wow, this has to be monitored.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, so we're an advisory services and tech firm. We focus on helping financial institutions, basically help them comply with regulations.
Right.
So that way they can do what they need to do, which is help everybody make money for their investors. And so we do that by giving really good advice. We have the top notch. I don't say the best, but
you can say the best. I'm going to say the best, man. Come on, let's go.
So I'm not going to say the best because that would be superlative language, which is something that I need to worry about from a regulatory perspective because I can't prove it.
Yeah, you're living your own thing. All right, all right.
I believe that we have the best, and that's an allowed thing to say.
There you go.
So we give really good advice about how to follow the rules, stay the rules. But outside of good advice, people have to just do the work to stay compliant. And so we help that by giving people technology to help them follow rules and regulations.
Mm-hmm.
When they need help to just do the work of staying compliant, that's when they count on my particular team, the managed services team. The managed services, you can do it for them. Because I mean, a lot of these institutions have these compliance departments that make sure they're saying the right things and the communications are all on the up and stuff like that. And this is why I think it's so interesting because this is such a unique service, but it's so important. I mean, I think about obviously our life is driven around financial institutions. I mean, we live and die by the markets, right? And to me, it's just amazing that we got some expertise happening here in Pittsburgh. Of course, you have offices outside of Pittsburgh as well, too, but you got a big presence here in Pittsburgh. But the idea, though, that we need to manage this and make sure it can be, in many ways, automated as well, too. Yeah. It's what we'll talk about today and how you're using a lot of AI to do the things you do. But typical clients are everything from a hedge fund, of course, to, just a regular bank and that has an investment arm. Tell me, who are some more of the typical kind of, when you say financial institutions, because that's a wide topic that. It's the regulatory investment advisors, primarily, SEC regulated. So hedge funds and private equity, wealth managers. basically all the folks you would give your money for investment purposes.
Gotcha.
And you want to trust that they are doing the right things with your money. We help them prove that they're doing the right things with your money.
Absolutely. So let's kind of just jump into really how you guys are actually integrating AI into what you do. And I'm sure it's not something obviously just happened overnight. You guys have been kind of working your way into it, as many of us have been doing. So give me a little bit of the backstory as to how you started integrating some and how you're actually starting to use this. And I think most importantly, and we get a lot out there, is how you are keeping the human in the loop for crying out loud, because we at the Tech Council, I mean, we all know that AI is disruptive, but at the end of the day, this is a tool to empower humans. To do more stuff. So keep going.
And that's actually where we started from. So, we have our own technology, but we're 1,300 people globally.
Yeah.
Here in the Pittsburgh area, we're just over 150, but they're all people.
Exactly right.
Human beings. Doing human work. So that's actually where we started. It's part of our kind of ethos around our approach to AI, is that AI is here to help us do the work. It's not to replace the work. And so the human in the loop is, since it's next to you, how do we evaluate it? How do we use it for those purposes? So that was the start. The journey from there was a little trickier. It's easier to say.
Oh, absolutely. Especially when humans are involved.
So the first thing was getting the humans ready.
How'd you do that? I mean, that could be a whole show unto itself. Is how do you prepare the human being for this? But maybe give us a little bit as to what that meant for ACA.
Yeah. So the first thing was getting most of the workforce, the non-technical folks, that understand that AI is something that they can use in their daily lives. About a year ago, we were seeing people play around with it, just sort of chat, but there was some fear to bring it into the workplace. So there was a little bit of actual guilt that some people would express, like, I'm cheating at my job.
Exactly.
Because
I know that feeling. Yeah, I know. Absolutely.
And so we had to kind of bring some culture in to say, no, it's actually okay. Like, this is helpful, and it's not a bad thing to use it. And so that was one thing, is just making it kind of an acceptable thing. You weren't cheating, and it doesn't mean the product that you're producing isn't yours or any bad in any which way. We actually went and assigned, so there's a phenomenal course. We took it, so I'm not advocating no financial topics.
Absolutely,
but the AI mindset.ai is from a gentleman named Connor. He helped me build this course that everyone on the team took, and it helped people think about the way to use AI. And even with my tech background, I found that I was using it, I'll say, wrong. And so early on, when you would sort of chat with a chat GPT or whatnot, I would write a prompt, a question, and then it would get wrong. I would just give up.
Okay.
Or I would take the prompt and sort of take it off a notepad and try to work it again, and then try the whole thing from scratch.
Ah, okay.
And you think if I asked you a question, you gave me a wrong question, and then I came back and just asked the whole thing again differently, one, you probably aren't going to be better. Two, you'd be a little bit frustrated.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Well, thankfully, AI doesn't get frustrated, but the result wasn't as good. And so one of the big changes that help get our mindset around there is, like, you ask AI, doesn't matter which one, and if you don't get it right, you just keep talking to it like a human, saying, sorry, that's not what I was asking. I was looking more for this area, or I think your assumption is wrong.
Exactly.
And actually having a very human dialogue, and then you actually were starting to get very powerful results back. And so we just use that as the foundation to teach humans on how to really get AI effective.
And how cool is that? Having a conversation.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy in a way when you think about it. Like, you're actually having a conversation literally with a machine, for lack of a better term, in order to start getting some of the results and efficiencies that you're looking for.
Yeah, that was the punchline. You had to stop thinking about it, interacting it as a machine, and you just interact like you would with a human. And the results you got out of it was so much better. And that brought down a lot of the guardrails that people had around or hesitation, and they could start just interacting and think about how to ask it questions and solve problems. And so that was a good baseline. And then from there, we had to push. So we had everyone state what they were going to do with AI at least once a day to get examples of individuals. And then we brought people into teams, and they started talking and sharing about how they do it. And so that really helped make it so individuals could understand how they could apply AI, and they weren't sort of waiting for developers or otherwise to bring them the AI and solve their problems.
It's very empowering, I think, that way. We're going to leave on that mark, because I think that's so interesting, because when we come back, we're going to learn more about that, how you've been engaging this to find efficiencies and just become a better business. And of course, we're very much oversimplifying the whole process here, but you give me some key takeaways here that I think that's a great bit of advice. In case you just joined us, we are talking to Steve Blossom of ACA Group. And if you go to acaglobal.com, you can learn all about what they're doing here. And they got a nice big presence here in Pittsburgh, up on Green Tree Hill there, as we call it here at the Tech Council. And keep hanging out with us. We'll be right back after this quick break. This has been Jonathan Kirsting. I'm with the Pittsburgh Tech Council. go to pghtech.org and find out all the ways that we love helping tech companies succeed. I'll be right back. I swear. A strong work culture is the invisible force that binds employees to each other, to the company, and to their work. It's linked to better business outcomes, happier employees, and increased retention. How we work and where we work continue to evolve in almost every way, yet our human need for connection and purpose remains. Help your employees connect and thrive by evolving your culture to support your team, regardless of how or where they work. So discover how the Kindling Culture Agency can transform your company's culture at sparksomething.big.com. That's the Kindling Culture Agency at sparksomething.big.com.
Compunetics is the leading developer of unified voice, video, and data collaboration and conferencing applications for the service provider, government, and unique workflow applications. The Summit Olympus and Evergreen platforms, driven by their encrypted user interfaces, enable powerful and secure collaboration. Combined with world-class support and innovative professional services, Compunetics delivers the right solution every time. Learn more at compunetics.com.
Your dial is set to TechVibe Radio, brought to you by Compunetics, Chorus Call, Highmark, Huntington Bank, Kindling, PNC Bank, and Xavier. Here are your hosts, Audrey Russo and Jonathan Kirsting of the Pittsburgh Technology Council, coming at you from the Huntington Bank studios. And we're back, and so glad you kept your dial tuned right here to TechVibe this Sunday morning. This is your front row seat to Pittsburgh's technology and innovation ecosystem. I couldn't be more thrilled to be hanging out with Steve Blossom from, of course, ACA Group. And if you go to acaglobal.com, you can check out all the stuff they do. They got over 1,300 people around the world with 150 people working right here in Pittsburgh. And we have been dorking out on how they are just integrating AI into their operations. And Steve, it's been so much fun talking to you. I'm like, oh man, I need to do a deep dive with you on this because I'm really impressed with how you guys have been rolling this out to your staff. Like you're really empowering and encouraging your staff to embrace this. And you've given us some key takeaways that were just the idea of how to play with it, converse with it. Like don't just put a prompt in, you don't get what you want and get frustrated and try to rewrite the prompt, but just keep having a conversation. That was cool.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Simple, but very effective.
Simple.
I love that. So let's kind of jump into now, like how you guys are pulling this in, how it's going in to what ACA Global does every day. And in case you just joined us as well, I mean, ACA Global, you guys are making sure that like the hedge funds, the financial advisors are all playing by the rules. They're being compliant, and you got the software that makes sure that they're playing by the rules. And if they can't do it themselves, you do it for them because you got the managed services, which you lead up.
That's right.
Oh, I feel like I knew something today. Good Lord. I don't think I screwed that up too badly then.
You did fine.
I'm so good at screwing stuff up. It's not even funny. So tell me, let's jump into this. And where do we start with like ACA now? And like, maybe like an example as to how you're able to pull this into what you're now offering.
Yeah. So once we had the team, just comfortable with AI and they start seeing use cases for how they could do it. And one thing was, what's interesting is, and there was a study MIT just published, quote, 95% of AI initiatives fail.
I saw that. And I'm like, what?
And what it really is about the revenue producing. And, I'll say we've found similar results, not like because we did any math, but everything we just described is very individualistic. And so you can see quick ROI on people just using a Copilot or ChatGPT individually. But applying that to a workflow, enterprise workflow, is really where it started, it's harder to do, largely because, if I want to get the advantages of AI and it's not embedded in the tool, I have to do silly stuff like copy or download the document and upload it to the chat bot, and that takes time and effort.
Of course.
To scale, I can write a good prompt or have a great conversation with AI, but then you sitting next to me doing the similar work, your conversation might be different.
That would be so different.
There's change management around like the prompts or the questions AI to get consistent results. And so there's very much a need for getting AI embedded into these point solutions, the ones that still solve very specific problems, which we thankfully have in the compliance space.
Exactly right.
And so that's how we've really taken this to the next levels. So one of the groups that are within my team here is marketing review. And so whenever you have pieces of marketing material that are published out to the public, you need to make sure it complies with regulations.
You can't say guaranteed to make you lots of money.
There you go. That is a great one.
That'd be a flag that AI would catch, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Or like I said earlier, I can't do superlative language. I can't say this is the best.
Exactly.
Unless I can support it somehow.
If I told you to say the best.
That's right.
I overrode you on that one.
Bestest.
Bestest, yes.
And so this is something that'd be actually really good for AI to do, because you're thinking, hundreds or thousands of PDF pages to scan through, fires, looking for language, but it's, what is the speculative? What are the various rules around the things I just learned about? If I have to disclose the return of investment, the rules are for certain funds. If it's a strategy, you have to have a 3-year and a 5-year and a 10-year if it has it. But if it's less than 10 years, you need to have a since inception.
Oh my
return
goodness.
date.
Okay,
That's
right.
one rule. And so programmatically, that's hard to do because there's a lot of ifs and that's. But guess what? AI can be really good at that because it understands it.
It eats it for lunch. Yeah.
And so we have a team of humans who know these rules back and forth like the back of their hand or better, and have read through hundreds of thousands of pages themselves. And so we took them with their newfound knowledge about how to interact with AI, and we built it together where we have their expertise educating the AI model, and so embedded in one of our current product we have, which is a tool that helps facilitate the review of marketing material, has AI in it. It's coming up for release very shortly, where AI will now help identify problematic languages in the marketing material.
Because I can imagine, if you dismiss one of those and they're published, that leads you to liability.
That's right.
I would have to assume. And one thing I've learned over AI is it doesn't really miss a whole lot when it comes to identifying very particular things that it's trained to know. And what's even cooler then is you have the human that then verifies that.
That's the human in the loop.
Yeah. and what I love then on top of that is that's allowing them out of some of that drudgery work of just looking for these very minute things, and they can use their brain for some deeper purposes on that work.
That's right.
Which is so cool.
Yeah. So then our staff gets to spend their time looking for the harder things.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So your clients have to be pretty stoked about this, knowing that you can provide this level of protection, for lack of a better term, that you do that.
Absolutely.
That to me is very, very cool.
Yeah, we're very excited.
Yeah. That's why, I don't know, it's such a weird world out there right now where people are really freaked out by this because we're losing jobs. And I know there's the whole thing around that to a certain area, but I'm just looking at this from the enablement standpoint. And that to me is just very cool.
It's a very exciting time.
I very much love it. I very much love it. Oh my God, time's going by too fast here. We got to talk a little bit about what's going on in your Pittsburgh office here. Are you guys hiring?
Oh, of course we are.
I know. Last time you heard a year ago, you're like, we're hiring. I assume you still are because you're growing leaps and bounds and stuff like that.
In spite of, or in addition to AI.
So thank you. So see, you're actually you're introducing AI, but you're still hiring people, and that's a thing. So yes, thank you. So first off, tell us about what's going on in the Pittsburgh office right now. What are some of the key things that are happening out of Pittsburgh specifically that make ACA Group do what it does?
Well, that's our center of excellence, essentially, for our managed services group. This is our largest presence.
Okay.
The team overall is north of 250.
Right.
But close over, I think, 115 are specifically here in Pittsburgh.
I love that. Yeah, and you're growing that team here in Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah, we're continuing to grow. That's right.
What kind of positions are you hiring for here in Pittsburgh?
Up and down. So we get folks who are college educated but have no background in compliance.
Surely.
Come on in, we'll train you.
Really? So I could train you. You could train me then.
Yeah, maybe as moonlight.
Maybe a full-time job.
And we'll train you in AI. So it's not just
even better yet.
Yeah. So we're that's the challenge in front of us now is how to train people up on not only just compliance, but how to use AI. So that to more seasoned practitioners where people have a background.
I love that, man. I love that. That to me is just fantastic. And what are your thoughts on your idea of a Pittsburgh advantage here when it comes to these types of professional services and so forth? What's your mindset on that?
It sounds silly in some ways, but it's the people that are here. There's this very human-centric culture. Everyone's 6 people away from knowing everyone else.
That always helps.
And so that focus around, people still with AI is paramount. And so, when we looked at, and what we've seen is when people are trying to solve AI things, it's how to make our own lives better. It's how the people's not better. We're not sitting there talking about how to save margin and efficiencies for efficiency's sake.
Yeah.
It really is about how do we do the greater good. And that just emanates through our Pittsburgh office.
I love it.
Right in the center.
Got 1 minute left and it's killing me, man. Because I'm having so much fun. I love these conversations. First off, go to acaglobal.com, check out what positions, just learn more about the company there. What's the coolest thing you've used AI for? Any problem that you've solved just personally even?
I just use it every day.
Yeah. Okay.
Like the smallest but easiest things. It just helps with clarity on email.
Thank you.
We all have to write so many emails a day, and that's where I found like has been the best because it's been the simplest problem that I have repeatedly.
I hear you, man. Amen to that. That is so true. Don't be afraid. Engage AI out there, everybody. Please. I mean, it's enhancing. And I think, Steve, you just really showcased how you keep the human in the loop with the AI to make it even more powerful than AI on its own, because you can't use it on your own. You got to have the human being there. Right. So much fun having you here. We're going to have you back again next year. Okay.
Looking forward to it.
It's become an annual thing. I want an update and everything like that. But even if it's before then, we'll have you in because there's always great stuff going on. I'm sure you're going to win more awards this year, for crying out loud. You guys
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, you guys are doing great. Once again, go to acaglobal.com to learn all about ACA Group. And Steve Boston, you're the best. Everybody, thanks for hanging out with me this morning. I can't appreciate you enough. I love giving you a front row seat to great stuff like ACA Group hanging out here in Pittsburgh. Go to pghtech.org. Tech Council, we love helping tech companies succeed. Enjoy your Sunday, everybody.
Thanks for geeking out with us on TechVibe Radio. Tune in next Sunday for more tech and innovation stories right here from Pittsburgh. TechVibe is brought to you by Compunetics at compunetics.com, Chorus Call at choruscall.com, Highmark at highmark.com, Huntington Bank at huntington.com, Kindling at thekindlingagency.com, PNC Bank at pnc.com, and Xavier at xavier.com. And we're always coming at you from the Huntington Bank Studios.